Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready, chat? Cuz I know the other day I thought I had found what would be the cringiest Jordan Peterson clip. I thought I had found the cringiest Jordan Peterson clip. And it turned out it was just kind of a mildly overwordy talk about like how animal cognition works. But I think I found a new one. And I am very, very certain that this is going to be both a load of nonsense and a load of cringe. So, buckle up, buttercups. We're going in because I'm just going to read you the title of this video. Russell Brand and Jordan Peterson, sex differences in personality. Let's go, baby. Russell Brand, literal cult leader. Jordan Peterson, aspiring cult leader. Let's go.
One of the things I noticed about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, there were two things that I noticed that I really didn't like. The first is that because I'm a personality psychologist, as a researcher, not as a clinician, but as a researcher, I know the literature on gender differences in personality because it's part of my field. And I could tell that I was starting to have some reluctance to deliver the lecture on gender differences. Now, I didn't stop, but I felt that I was treading on thin ice by delivering those lectures. And I thought, oh, that's not good, because I'm like a comedian. I'm pretty much willing to say anything that I think.
Yeah. Yeah, Jordan Peterson is like a comedian, insofar as he is a clown and should not be taken seriously.
Is true, and regardless of the consequences in some sense, because I'd rather take the consequences of what's true. And I thought, this isn't good, because if someone like me, who's rather uncontrollably mouthy, let's say, is starting to have second thoughts about teaching what's a very serious topic and something about which there's a very well-developed science, then how much are other people starting to censor? And at the same time, my students, many of whom were female, were telling me that they were really hesitant to talk.
Again, the weird clarifications he makes when he talks always throw me. Like, my students, many of whom are female, why is that relevant? Why is that relevant to your story?
Talk about gender differences in any of the courses they were running. And I thought, oh, this is not good. This is seriously not good. And it's certainly the case that my colleagues censor themselves increasingly on campus with regards to the topics they're willing to discuss. And it's subtle, because imagine in a given lecture, I could discuss any of 10 things, and 3 of them are taboo. Well, I just won't discuss those, and that's a kind of invisible censorship.
I also, again, being a tenured professor, like the concept of tenure literally exists so that professors aren't afraid to discuss topics. The entire premise of being a tenured professor is built to protect professors so that they can teach what they like honestly the topics that they are experts in. I thought this was new. Is this a re-upload from 4 years ago? God damn it. Oh well. Cringy, still cringy, still new to me. We're still going forward. It's a re-upload? I did not do my due diligence here. Let's see. Let's take a look. What's the original?
Hello.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is from 2018. Also, this video opens with Russell Brand looking like this. Folks, if you're watching a man who looks like this, I don't mean to come to a hasty judgment, but this man looks like he's about to sell you a fake cure for cancer, okay? He looks like he's about to try and be like, I'm gonna rearrange your chakras and you're gonna be immortal now. Do not take medical advice from.
It's not like I'll get up and say, look.
Oh, I would buy hella weed from him, violent smoker. Hella, you buy weed from him, you do not take medical advice from him.
I could have talked to you about gender differences in personality, but I won't because I'm afraid. I'll just pick another topic because there's lots of topics to choose from. And that means there's going to be a bunch of topics that are really important because actually the issue of sex differences in personality happens to be really important that people just won't talk about. And the other thing that's so annoying about this is that, especially with regards to sex differences in personality, let's say that you're firmly on the side of women, just for the sake of argument. Well, do you admit to or deny the existence of sex differences in personality? What's better for women?
What?
Well, the radical leftists basically say, oh, well, if you talk about sex differences, then you're part of the oppressive patriarchy and you're attributing to women a different kind of temperament in the attempt to continue the suppression. But I could just as easily say, it's like, well, wait a second. Like, if you want to give the individual the greatest degree of freedom, you say, look, you're different from another person. You're different on the basis of a variety of your characteristics, sex being one of them. That's going to have some effect on what sort of choices you want to make in your life. It's like, go ahead and make whatever choices you want, as far as they're a direct expression of your being. And so if you deny the existence of these sex differences, which no one knows...
Wait. No, my dude. You cannot say you are a woman, therefore this is or is not a direct reflection of your being. Even by Jordan Peterson standards, this is one of the stupidest arguments I've ever heard him make.
Serious commentator in the psychological literature, in the personality domain, and those are the people who know about this thing, nobody debates whether or not sex difference...
Look, women are just genetically predisposed to not be into Sonic the Hedgehog, okay? That's why back in the 90s, Sonic the Hedgehog was predominantly marketed towards boys. Because boys are just, they got sex differences that make them more interested in cool hedgehogs. Nah, that's a direct result of a marketing choice, not like an inherent sex difference. Like, there's nothing really of value you can learn about, like, maybe you can learn, like, sociologically useful information, but you can't learn, like, individually useful information from, like, studies on, like, the predispositions of, like, different sexes, especially given how complicated sex is. Like, I don't know, we didn't know about chromosomes back in, like, the 1940s or whatever, when, like, a lot of research was being done on this stuff. Like, we gotta go back to the drawing board and figure it all out again. Rojo Buzz, Ray of Light, Tangerine, thank you all for the follows. I really appreciate it. Also, chat member Daniele, Gib, and Givucci, thank you all for the follows. I deeply, deeply appreciate the number going up. And folks, if you're new here, please hit the follow button, because we're only 16 follows away from hitting 7,800 followers, and that would please me.
And personality exist, or that they have a biological component. And what's also interesting about that is that none of those people are conservatives. There are no conservative psychological researchers to speak of. They're in a tiny minority. So the people that have done the research indicating that there are differences between the sexes in personality, and that those differences have in part, a biological component, those are liberal and left-leaning people who've drawn those conclusions, despite what their ideological presuppositions might have suggested to them to begin with. So,
did we know about chromosomes in 1878? That's pretty cool. Did we know about all the chromosome variations when it comes to sex in 1878? Did we know that?
Well, so, I don't know what to say about that, except that it's all appalling.
I suppose the fear must be that difference will ultimately be used for leverage for status.
Sure, and that's a reasonable fear, because anything can be manipulated, but claims of identity claims that people are identical in some way can also be used for the same reason. If I insist that everyone is exactly the same on all dimensions, there's just as much of a totalitarian threat lurking in there as there is the threat lurking that we'll use differences as an excuse.
Yes.
And we're also not having a serious discussion about this. It's like, yeah, men are overrepresented at the top of the economic apex. That's true. It's a small minority of men, by the way. It's certainly not men in general, but they're radically overrepresented at the bottom. And believe me, man, like, nobody cares about men who are failures. They are like off the bloody radar.
Yeah.
So, and there's no sympathy for men who are failures. So men stack up at the top and the bottom. And we don't have a discussion about that. And we don't have a discussion about the fact that women are radically underrepresented in dangerous jobs.
If you want to share links, gotta whisper to mods, because we got too many gore porns from neo-Nazis.
Although they are, or in trades that require like brutal physical labor, women are radically underrepresented. Or in jobs outside, women are radically underrepresented.
It's almost like patriarchy affects a lot of people.
The complaint is always, well, if you look at the top 1%,
Captain A. Jones, thank you for the $5 dono. And yes, fuck Jeff Bezos.
There are more men than there should be, by pure sex division. It's like, well, yeah, but if you look at the bottom, the reverse is true. So if we're going to have the discussion, I don't really necessarily think we should have that discussion, but if we're going to have the discussion, then we should look across the entire economic spectrum.
I wonder how much of this debate is being governed by unconscious forces. I wonder how much of what we're experiencing is a manifestation of a sort of where cartography has not yet been. I think that
I think a lot of it. What are you thinking about? Any particular part of it?
What I feel like is that the reason that I imagine that your arguments that are based on research are so successful is because people are expressing feelings as opposed to cogent and researched arguments. It feels like there is a powerful, dominant patriarchy, and no one can deny, that there is power. There's such a thing as power, and there are people that benefit from structures being as they are.
Of course.
Damn. Really sounds like you're talking about patriarchy there, Russell Brand.
Of course.
That's the point of those structures being the way they are. One of the things I've observed is that whenever change is discussed, and my tendency has always been to be sympathetic towards movements that are about change or empowerment of what
this is just too surreal.
Disadvantaged groups. That change is all that when you're curious about the resistance of change or the difficulties that you face when trying to bring about change, look at who would be negatively impacted were that change to be brought about. And usually that means that there's some people for conservatism makes sense to a particular group of people. One of the things I felt when reading a book was that, because I think you're coming from a perspective of psychoanalysis, and it rings the language rings true.
We will
and
watch
the
Fur
analysis
Babies after this clip, because we got like 3 more minutes left.
This rings true. Where I feel one question I was keen to bring to you is when you talked about skateboard,
Garbage. Pure, undiluted garbage,
and that spirit
meaningless
of,
drivel,
young
nonsense.
People,
That's all
courage,
they were.
and a willingness
Junk.
to try dangerous things.
And when I thought, this is what these kids in this preschool are seeing.
The idea of an earlier passage in the book where you talk about the gratitude that we should feel for, having time to read a book and the ability to read a book, and sort of respect for the establishments and systems that have been set up from which we all benefit. Because
that
when I could find it difficult to dispute your opinion about sort of churlish, what would have been in the lexicon of the day, social justice warriors, and that kind of somewhat rootless, unresearched rage. I identify what you're saying there. People that can't keep their bedrooms tidy, you be careful before you let them organise an economic system. But similarly, where is change going to come from? Who is going to challenge?
Solazar, you miss Dennis Prager, you say? You miss Mr. Marital rape is good, actually, huh?
Tyranny.
Yeah.
Is it going to be?
Those are the sorts of twin forces that we have to contend with across the political spectrum. So I could run
careful what you ask for,
quickly
Solazar,
to put the things that you just brought up in perspective. Let's say. Okay. So the first thing is that hierarchies, if you're going to value some things more than others, then hierarchies are inevitable. And you have to value some things more than others, or you don't have anything valuable.
Like beauty or strength or something.
Or competence, or whatever it happens to be. The ability to play the flute.
Why not?
Right? It doesn't matter what
high
it is.
on my list.
Well, what obviously, if you value music, then you're going to value some musicians more than others because some are better. So you have to value things in order to move forward in life, and you have to value things in order to have something valuable to produce. But if you play out the value in a social landscape, you're going to produce a hierarchy. And the problem with producing a hierarchy is
you mean if you value something, you're going to value something? Crazy. What a wise individual here.
A small number of people are going to be more successful than the majority, and a very large number of people aren't going to be successful at all at that particular thing. It's inevitable. So, okay, now, so you must say, well, we have to put up with that because we need to pursue things of value. Okay, fine. So that's the right-wing perspective, is that the hierarchies are justifiable and necessary. Now, the left-wing perspective is, but wait a minute. The problem with hierarchies is that people stack up at the bottom and that they tilt towards tyranny across time. And that's also true. And so you need that dialectic in society between the right...
I don't know that that's necessarily true, though.
...right wing that says, we need the hierarchies and they're useful and you should be grateful for them, and they structure you and give you form.
Yes, we need the hierarchies. We need them. You see, chat, hierarchies are actually good, and you shouldn't struggle against them. Accept them. They teach you your rightful place in society. You're garbage. Unless you're wealthy, in which case, hey!
And provide value, and the left that says, but they exclude people, and people stack up at the bottom, and that's dangerous to the hierarchy itself, and it means that people might not have opportunity, and you have to say yes to that. The problem comes, and this is the situation we're in right now, where the radical leftists, and this is mostly a problem that permeates the university.
The radical
leftists say, but all hierarchies are just tyrannical power. It's like, oh no, they're not. Hierarchies are based on competence in a functioning society, and
I'm gonna need some citations on that one, boy. I'm gonna need to see some citations on that one because I'm pretty sure I've seen a lot of really dipshit rich folk. Like a lot. Okay? I don't know. Let me pull something up here. I remember the perfect thing, okay? I remember the perfect thing. All right?
The assumption that women are going to be like hysterical across the board, that kind of generalization is just
okay, if you think that rich people, that we live in a meritocracy, folks, that capitalism is a meritocracy, you have to explain one fundamental problem. Andrew Tate. Okay? Just watch.
Correct. And that's why, Andrew, I've seen some of your work as you're doing the rounds on Twitch here. And a lot of the things that you said that you've been called out on, specifically in regards to like women driving, as a matter of fact, are just generally untrue. No empirical evidence to back up those claims, which is why you resort to anecdotes quite frequently and say things like, oh, well, it's just common sense, right? But it's not technically common sense. It's just your personal opinion.
Completely. It's my personal opinion based on my personal biases of my life experience. Now, when I say exactly, and when I say these things, X amount of people agree with me and X amount of people disagree with me. That's fine, and that's the same with nearly any statement in the world.
Okay,
I can say the world is round, and there'll be a percentage of people who disagree with me. That's totally and utterly fine. I come on here and talk about my own personal experiences, and my experiences, men are better drivers than women. I'm not saying there's no good female drivers. I'm not saying a female can't.
No. You're misunderstanding what I'm saying. There is a truth, and then there is your own personal experiences backed by anecdotes, right? Or your own personal opinion backed by anecdotes from your own personal experiences. Now, your own personal experiences are oftentimes going to be incorrect, and
I'm sorry, we need to skip ahead a little bit.
Woman driving, and if you actually ask most,
believe the Earth is flat or round, spherical.
Even if I had personal experiences that said,
still rattled from the numerous concussions, but brilliant nonetheless.
People who are brave.
You are absolutely talking about. I'm simply here to learn from you.
Yo, can we stop with the sarcastically? Listen,
call maybe it would fix the stream.
If you'd like to, I hope that one day you can educate Call because you feel like I'm overpowered. Educate thousands of young men about your business strategies. I want to know more.
Proud dad.
Okay,
here we go.
I want you to be more socially aware and understand that since you've joined the stream, everyone's begging for you to leave. The vibe's down. It's boring. It's late at night for me. I came here to have fun. You're being boring. No one thinks you're cool. No one thinks you're intelligent. No one thinks you're funny.
I don't think I'm cool or intelligent. I just have questions and you're not answering them for some reason.
No, I don't
Why are we derailing?
Vibes down, vibes down.
You're not the police. I don't have to answer you.
No, not at all. No, I am not the UK police nor the Romanian one. I'm simply asking you questions about your business strategy, which you literally educate people on. I just want to know how you fucking how you do growth and revenue. Why can't I be a hustler? I want to be a hustler like you. I want to be a top G, a top bloke, a proper bloke.
Right. You can find out more on the website. I would like the stream to get fun again. If you want to discuss this,
you don't think your educational content is fun for people to consume?
I think everyone's saying kick him. Read the chat. Have you guys read the chat on your stream?
You want me to leave that bad? I'll. If you want me to leave that bad, I'll leave.
You're just being. I mean, listen. I'm just a messenger. But you're just kind of like being sarcastic.
I'm not. I'm literally not. I promise. I swear to Allah that I want to know.
You're just saying wasn't sarcastic. You can't even convince me.
None of what I have mentioned is sarcastic. I truly would like to know more.
85% kick. 85%. No one thinks you're funny or interesting or witty. Your little comebacks, no one's interested in them. You haven't won anything.
It's okay. It's okay. Andrew, if you want, we can have a conversation again. We can have a conversation again in the future if you'd like. If you're brave enough, I guess.
HU has an affiliate program for some people if they want to affiliate, like everything else in the world. We have over 100,000 students making more than they invest each month. If they didn't make more than they invest, they wouldn't sign up. One of the most successful online educational platforms in history.
Are there multiple layers?
Learn how to make some money yourself. If you want to join and have more information, it's all on corporatetape.com. You can find out yourself. If you're too cheap to pay $50, then you're a brokey. Nobody gives a shit what you think anyway. You've ruined the stream. Everyone wants you out of it. So either change tune and get with the program and be fun, or keep sitting here and talking sarcastic and really slowly and repeating yourself and talking about how you only believe what you see on the internet because no one really gives a fuck and it's boring. So let's move on to something fun. Let's get the tempo up. I've just told you about HU. We do have an affiliate program. You can find out more on corporatetape.com.
It is so okay. So it is a multi-level marketing scheme. Got it. I just wanted to figure out if it was truly a pyramid scheme. It would be inappropriate of me to assume that it's a pyramid scheme without having you explain it in such terms. But thank you. All right, whatever you guys want to talk about, I'm game.
You're welcome to affiliate anytime you like, friend. There's no problem.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on because this dude he's lame, my friends. Let's get
Hassan, I appreciate you coming on. We're gonna bring in another guest now.
All right, peace, boy.
Yeah. This guy. I'm a millionaire. And a bunch of we got over 1 million students. Yeah. Don't don't talk to me about it being a multi-level marketing scheme. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's a funnel scheme. It funnels money directly into my bank account. It's a reverse funnel scheme. I mean, a reverse funnel plan. Look, if you believe capitalism is a meritocracy, you have to explain how people like Andrew Tate are meritorious enough to rise to the top. This is the kind of guy that a lot of people listen to and is weirdly influential, and he got big by exploiting the labor of women and then allegedly running sex trafficking and then starting a massive online streaming pyramid scheme. So, Jordan Peterson, it's tell me more how hierarchy is based on competence.
Mostly our society functions. So you can't go that far. Now, that doesn't mean that hierarchies don't tilt towards self-interest and tyranny across time, but that's a bad thing. It's even a bad thing from the conservative perspective.
I see.